everybody, it's Julie Salva. You are at Stampin'Show with Julie Salva, and you are here for the Great North American Stampin' Show. Thank you so much for stopping by. Well, I'm not wearing my crown. I did not win last week. Lisa Bowden won, and truthfully, I did not, I don't even think I voted for myself. It just was one of those weeks. But Lisa's project was great, as was Lauren's and Jody's. I love all the projects every week, except I suppose last week I didn't love mine. But anyway, got a fun project for you this week. We are at season 6, and I think we're at episode 7. Can't even believe it. Can't even believe it. So here's our challenge this week. Page 42 in the Stampin' Up! Holiday catalog. We've got 6 great layouts to choose from. I chose this one. Look at my finger there. Boom, 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 boom. I chose that one. And in just a second, I'll tell you what I thought about it and tell you why I chose it. So, you know the drill. Watch my video, then go to the description. You will see the links for Jody, Lauren, and Lisa's videos. Watch their videos, and then vote for the one you like best. How do you vote? Click thumbs up. It's easy. I would also love it if you would subscribe and share, and I'll see you in just a minute because it is time to stamp. Okay, so like I told you, page 42 was the inspiration this week. So you can see there's 6 pretty solid layouts here. None of them are too complicated, but yet they all are really cute. So as I mentioned, I chose this one. So let's focus. We've got some DSP, we've got some contrast here with the banners, we've got a focal point, we've got an accent element. So let me show you what I did. So I have started with a piece of extra thick white cardstock. I cut it to 8.5 by 5.5. I scored it at 4 1/4, folded it in half, and burnish, burnish, burnish. You've got to score the thick cardstock. If not, it just looks ugly. Okay, so work with me on that. All right, the next thing I have done is using the Modern Christmas DSP, which has this great metallic, all of the papers in this set have metallic on one side, and then they've got just the regular matte on the other side, and that's super cute too, but I loved those star metallic images. So that is going to be a matte. I cut this to 3 7/8 by, what is it? Let me math, 5 1/8. And then the gold piece behind it is cut to 4 by 5 1/4. Now here's the thing. I know you're like, Julie, why are you covering that gold piece up? Because I'm going to teach you something in just a minute. Just be patient, okay? Just be patient. Okay, then I cut my 2 strips that are going to be banners to 1.5 by 4 inches. And this is probably my favorite paper of all. I love kind of that retro Art Deco look from the 20s. I love that. And then you have just some fun little, squigglies on the back. So these are going to be my banners. So I'm going to go on and cut the banner tails here. You know I'm not a big fan of doing that, but here I am doing it for you. So cut my center piece, then cut side to side. You would think this would be easy, wouldn't you? But it's not. Okay, that's not too bad though, so I'll get rid of those. All right, so I've got those, and they're going to go on, oh, you can kind of see my secret. They're gonna go on there. Okay, so this is the basis, what we're working with here. So let's talk about this for a minute, because then I'm going to go to the focal point, okay? So as I was putting this together, I knew I wanted to have the gold foil paper as a border. And I don't do that a lot because that paper, the paper's not expensive. You get 2 pieces of 12 by 12 for $5, but well, I mean, when you cut it down, it can be expensive. And I also knew I wanted this great accent, this star. Isn't that beautiful? So I'll tell you, the star comes from the coordinating set Ornamental Christmas. And this bundle, there's dies, that one of the dies cut this star out, that is designed to go with that paper that we're using. And I knew I wanted to use the star, and I played around with it in different colors, but gold is definitely what I wanted to do with it. But I'm like, I'm almost out of this. I don't have enough gold. Oh, yes, I do. Boom. No one's going to see this. No one's going to see it. Now, a little note to you. Don't be a dork like me and cut it almost up to the edge. Fortunately, I can still cover it up. But you want to cut out of the center. But no one's going to see it. So this is a little tip for you when you are short on paper, or if you have a paper that you're like, I am really fond of that paper and I don't want the majority of it hiding behind another piece. Well, now you know. You can do what you need to do. to get the middle out of it. So I'm going to go on and adhere this to my thick white. And I did, this is how I know I'm becoming a better stamper, because I, of my own free will, chose to cut in 8s. So I'm going to go on and adhere this. So you can kind of see where we're going with that sample. I talked about how it had the designer series paper. I talked about how the banners were in a contrasting pattern, which you can see we've got those. Okay, so, but look at that. I mean, that gold, just that little pop of gold right there really just adds a little bit of elegance to this. So let me put my banners down. And I'm pretty much so far just following the pattern from page 42. So this is offset a little bit. And then I'll put this one down. I'm going pretty quick on this here. You guys have been following me for a while. You're advanced. So I'm offsetting this. And this one I'm almost putting toward the bottom. And you'll see why momentarily. Okay? So I've got my banners there. Now it's time for the focal point. So let's look back here because I want to draw your attention to something. So right side up would be helpful. So when you look at this, you see you have your center. Now they stamped on DSP, but there's really not a good DSP in this set to stamp on. And then they have the fronds there. Okay, so just remember that. Focal point with an accent. Focal point with an accent. All right, so here's ours. All right. I'm going to have a circle. I've cut it out. This is the second largest stylish shapes. So that's going to go there. I'm going to poke my star there so it's kind of peeking out. And then look what I have done. I have already, and I've gone on and done it, using a die from this bundle. Okay, I cut out that Christmas tree. And then using these like little banner pieces or tree decorations, I used them as tree decorations. I stamped and I embossed that in gold. Okay, I think it's very pretty. And that's going to go right here, popped up. So what do we see? Focal point, accent, focal point, accent. I'm not quite done yet though, because I've got to do some stamping. So we're going to experiment, okay? I really like the Merry Christmas stamp. I really like it. I'm not sure. It may be too big. It may be too big. But we're going to give it a go and see. So I'm just going to stamp in Memento Black. So get some good ink on that. That looks pretty good. A little bit more. Good. Okay. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so Merry Christmas. Okay, not bad. If it doesn't work, we're going to use the other side because we have magic paper, all right? So if I go Merry Christmas there, and then, and this is how I do things, and you probably do them the same way. Just kind of lay things out and see what you think. I think it's going to work. I think it's going to work. All right, let's do it. Okay, so let's get our star down. So just going to do adhesive. You could do glue dots if you wanted to. In fact, I'm going to go on and do that. Look, I have figured out how to make my glue dots behave in an orderly fashion. So I'm just going to pop glue dots on all these little star ends here. Okay. So I don't know, maybe you guys are familiar with that strategy of cutting out from a mat where it won't show to conserve paper. But if you're not, I hope that you feel like, hey, Salva taught me something tonight. That's impressive. She's on her game tonight then. She is on her game. So, you know what, I'm gonna go on. Okay, so put that there. And then I'll put this right here. I am so glad Merry Christmas worked because honestly, I really wanted to use it. Okay. Then dimensionals on the back of my Christmas tree. And you'll have to leave a comment. If you're like, Julie, I would have liked to have seen the embossing, the heat embossing, because I don't know how to do that. Leave a comment and let me know. And I'll come back. You know, I could come back at another time and do embossing where I show you from start to finish. Oh yeah, that's good. Okay, so there we go so far. And then I have to see if I like this. I did go on and tie a bow with this sheer ribbon. I do think I like it. I'm going to put it on. This is the gold striped mesh ribbon. Really, really ties nicely. I'm a fan of it for sure. I'm going to put that right there. And then I'll trim this down. And I actually kind of like, well, it's going to look funky, but I did kind of like how the tails spun a little bit. That's okay. I can play around here. There we go. Yes, ma'am. There we go. Okay, and then the creme de la creme, that's not what you say, the coup de grace, that's the word I'm going for. The coup de grace, the low profile dots, these are on the last chance list, much to my dismay, because I really, really like them, but I guess that means we got to go on and get them. So let me put a few of these on. Come here, baby. Look, it's mad because it knows it's on the last chance list. It's like I am not cooperating. So these are petal pink. There we go. And then obviously gold. Okay, put the gold one right up there. And that's it. That's my card. So, what do you think? All right, so what did you think? This is much more of a blingy card than I normally do. And the kind of untraditional colors, I don't know if you like that or if you don't, but I'll tell you, I had a fun time making this one. So this is my entry. I hope you like it. Again, I told you at the beginning, go watch the other videos, Lauren, Lisa, and Jody. Vote for the one you like best by clicking thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my other videos because I am here. I am here more than just this time. Why is my phone sliding down? Hard to tell. And then you will see all sorts of things that you can choose to do in the description. Join my email list, sign up for classes, join my team. Lots of fun opportunities for you. So, hey, once again, thank you for stopping by. You are very much appreciated. And congratulations, Lisa, from last week. I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.